Good morning. So the big Apple earnings are out. I looked at it before. It didn't take out the old high. So good start. We'll see where that goes. Anyway, Wednesday morning, markets are inched up a little bit more overnight. And I kind of see them on right at the goal line here, in a sense of trying to get it over the line into the void here. So yesterday, when it was able to clear, I guess this resistance we talked about, the the test of this, and then it came up and it had that pullback, right? And then it rallied throughout the day, and this was the overnight when the Apple earnings came out. And with that, it wasn't able to push through this area of resistance. Again, we've got an area here, and this was, the gap fill area, which it stalled at, and it tried to roll over. And then, as I said, the earnings came out and it pushed up. So its ability to push up is really, all as it is this move into the resistance area based on this daily chart, where it's up to sellers to hold the line somewhere in here. And the fact that this is a wide range bar really doesn't mean a whole heck of a lot, meaning it's a wider bar that it got from here to here. So it's ran its race against, this crushing move to the downside. So in a sense, I'm putting it, they're on the goal line here, meaning if they can hold this area here, well, maybe we get another big rally up into here. And those of you that are subscribers to the advisory letter, that scenario is one that was in there, meaning that one of the things I said was respect this move based on the internals and the extent of the trend, so on and so forth. And I said, it's not out of the realm of possibilities that we make a marginal new high before maybe a bigger correction comes. So these wrong way option traders that we've been, viewing for some time over here, they've kind of got clobbered. But, as I said also in one of the letters, this was in nosebleed territory. This can't last for long. Let's just clean up that mess there. This has got a long way to go before it reaches a bullish area. The breadth being down here at a bullish level, we got the bounce. This is, unless both of these line up together, it's not a signal. Now, being down here, it could, and the speed at which it got down here, once it broke through this line here, is actually confirmation of the power to the downside. If this is going to go down, let's just say this gets down to the 50 MA or even lower, and we were to see this at, say, a minus, let's just say around minus 300, that would be a short-term buy signal historically. So there's something to keep in mind. We'll see if that actually plays out. So today, question is whether this can hold up here and then push up through this level. And if it can, it opens up the door to coming back up to the high, because there's nothing to the left. Right? There's nothing here. You can go and look at this and cross over to, what's directly to the left. But truly, to understand price movement, it's all about looking at what's directly to the left here and the speed at which this fell. That this left no resistance areas. I don't know if you're talking to me or somebody else in the chat there. Me. Okay. So levels, there's nothing here. So the level is right here where it's at right now. So if what's going on here overnight in pre-market, this rolls over, I'm going to start thinking short. I'll see what it looks like on the 5-minute chart. But that is going to have created a new reference area of resistance. So the reason it's trading like this now is because of this area right here. So it's made its easy move. Right? The low of the day should hold yesterday's low. I think so. I think that's a reasonable thought. Yeah. You know, if it clears here, I mean, you've got support here, you've got support here. You've got all of these earnings that are coming out at the end of the day. So I don't think you got to watch out what you think, of course, but we'll see. The markets will tell us what to think as more information becomes available. But with more of these earnings that are coming out with, you know, some of these big names later today or after the bell, I don't think sellers will be all that aggressive to be pushing it lower unless some other news came out, like, you know, this virus just hit, you know, Washington and it just focused on Democrats and killed them all. And, you know, the market would probably crash, maybe, or maybe it would rally. But anyway, I don't think it would break yesterday's low. Right. Yeah. So, and as we look inside of wide range bars, we know that their momentum moves, but you know, you had this stall here that it's above, you had this stall over here. It's not this kind of a momentum move, right? You can see the difference on how this is absolutely nothing. Well, this has got some stopping points along the way. So just looking at a green bar, right, or you know, range bars of this size, and you can see like that, they don't have to look exactly the same inside. So we'll get different reactions to that. So we start with the concept of a wide range bar is you know, smaller bars, a bigger move in a smaller time frame, and that creates a void. And then we actually go and take a look at what that structure looks like. And you know, you've got this little rounding bottom here. So I would lean on the side of no, it does not break the low of the day. So if you're thinking about selling a credit spread down below these lows, I think that's probably a good bet. I'd wait to see if it breaks over here and maybe begins to stabilize and then maybe start to leg into them. What's the OFMC going to do? They're not going to do anything, right? They're just going to, you know, in my opinion, they're going to come out and say, we're monitoring manufacturing and, oh, the virus might slow things down, but we need more information to really see how this unfolds. It's too early. You know, you want to give you the Fed chairs, you know, what he's going to say. that I think he's kind of predictable in the things that he's come out. I don't think so. I think if they were to cut Alex, that would just be saying they think something is very, very wrong that they're worried about. And I don't think the market would take that in a positive way. Not at a time like this. Anyway, we'll see what happens. NQs, same story. They've been showing some relative strength. And so they're in the same area, but you can see a very similar pattern, right? The pop up, the retest. Does it go sideways at resistance, absorbing the supply and push higher into the void, or does it break lower and we have an inside day jiggling around inside this area here? What do you, Lou, in YouTube's name? Another service recommended PNW for a short. What do you think? I'll look at it quick, but Dan usually takes those. But if you're a day trader, I mean, it's in a strong uptrend here, and while it's at resistance over this side, it could work out as a short-term play or a day trade. Markets up here, so I'd be careful with that. It's had a hell of a strong move, probably due for a little bit of a rest. And there you go. And YM, same story. Little bit stronger, right? A wee bit, I guess, because Boeing's up here. And the way I'm saying it's a little stronger. It took out this high overnight, and it's beginning to push up into this area, but it was weaker before. Now it's a little bit stronger. Russell, right? That was a weaker yesterday, and you got more of a rounding top here. So on the short side, this one might be the better bet if that is what's going to unfold here. Let's look at this. Got to be red. All right, so below here opens up the door to some downside price action. And you can say the depth of retracement was much deeper than the others as it came down to this major support point. And yesterday's range was smaller. So this still looks bearish. Oil, stabilization day. It's down on support. Makes sense. Right. This thing has been crushed. Bonds up here. Right. But consolidating after this move up. Weekly looks bullish. Suggests it's going to go higher. Buy it on the dips. Buy TLT. This looks anywhere pulling back into this area where buyers are going to continue to show up and push up. And if that is what's going to happen, that leads to a bias that this is going to roll over and go down. And we'll see. And we're still waiting to see, right, what happens today and those earnings. And we got these different variables that need to be considered, so Apple doing what it's doing here today. I said it's up, right? But at 324, and it's right up near the prior high. So we'll see what the reaction is and whether there's sellers up there and so on and so forth. That'll be telling to see how that reacts or whether it continues to push higher. Bonds we looked at, gold is down here a little bit, no big deal. Got this rounding bottom, So rounding bottoms near prior topping tail like that, it's going to have to digest some of that. But overall, it's just fine. It's just chopping along here. It's got that move up, and so it's got to take some time. Right? And silver got clobbered yesterday. It's just kind of messy. So we'll see if that can start to recover here, which I imagine will take till maybe later in the week. So what we want to see here is similar, right? We always look at patterns and not always exactly the same, but somewhat similar, right? When we discussed this ominous looking red bar on the weekly chart, and I talked about the fact that it should repair the damage because it certainly looked like it was going down at that time. And as it began to repair the damage, it was like, okay, this is beginning to build up some support. So, and obviously was able to retrace. So as we look at silver, right, we got to respect that nasty bar. But if this can start to go sideways for a bit, well, here's your void concept. And that opens up the door to maybe start retracing that. So it's too early to do anything, but it's, throw it in a thumbnail if you're interested and see what it does. Are you doing 180 reversal in a more bearish intermediate term? Well, a 180 reversal, a bearish 180 reversal. I don't know, Alex. I mean, like I said, this was a nasty move to the downside. These guys, I mean, we could spend the next 2 weeks going sideways while the majority of these earnings come out, and we'll see something different. But right now, based on the move that we've seen, the deterioration in breadth, people buying calls like, they're just giving away $100 bills on every time you buy, and leads me to believe that even if this makes a new high, I think that we have to be concerned that this is the start of some type of a correction here. Now, just to put it in the context of everything, those of you that, and I probably said it here or read the letter, I said that this correction that lasted 2 years And the breakout and the move that started in October is bullish. So we have multiple time frame biases, and we look for those multiple time frames to come into alignment at the appropriate time for us to take advantage of this longer term bias. And if this was to correct somewhere down here, I think that because of this chart, that correction would be a buying opportunity. Now, so we create these scenarios and then we see what happens. That's what bar by bar is about. Bar by bar analysis applied to multiple time frames will guide us as to what is. We can have our biases and opinions, and me and you and someone else could be different, but in the end, the charts are going to tell us. And right now, the charts are telling us that there's concerns. We're not so sure what's going to happen. There are those that think, hey, I'll buy the dip, and maybe we're just in for a bit of a rest. And so we'll see what happens. All yours, Dan.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Yeah, I did when I did the video last night for our subscribers. It looks like it's playing out. I said, you know, positive Apple earnings. Maybe they'll give us a push here deeper into this, but then we're more in day trade mode. Haven't been very active. This, you know, there's damage here. All right, we have a couple gifts, if you will, in terms of gaps in our favor. We have no problems at all. GE had earnings. We were holding this as a core. So here, let me give it to you all. I sent a pre-market adjustment out. It's under a 5-minute low. Let's leg into the out of the money $13 calls with that big gap. You know, now it's looking a lot better. Spiders, we did a put spread yesterday with the gap up. I'll be looking to tighten the stop. ICE looks like it's gapping up a buck or so. Our Tata Motors up 60 cents. That's a nice gap way up here. That looks good. All right, wait, there are a ton of earnings. Let's go through these pretty quick. HEPA 6 to 17. That sounds like a bio, but that's a fantastic looking gap right over resistance. I'm going to get rid of Boeing up here. That's a beautiful pro gap right there. Perfect. You had a little downside shakeout. That looks great. Talking about Boeing, yeah, I saw it down here pre-market. Look at that $15 swing. There's no pattern, but maybe a put spread for Friday. No pattern on the daily. Lee 236, the gap's too big. You're gone. MA 324, no pattern. When I say, I mean, if there's really no pattern, I'm just going to delete it. If I need more information, then I leave it here and come back to it in 30 minutes. LB 23 bucks. Gap's too big. Have no interest. 50 bucks. This is a bearish. That's a nasty bearish pro gap from sideways trading range to downtrend. I wish it had more of a void over here because minor support's 48, but that's worth keeping an eye on. This thing's been moving all over the place with the Corona thing. 71. Oh, that's a big ugly gap. You know, when you got to go to your monthly chart to see where it's opening. No, I don't think LB was earnings. I think it was, they had some, it's news of some sort. CHRW, nasty gap, but no pattern, 92 bucks. Bearish gap under yesterday's green bar, but no pattern. ALK flat and garbage, you're gone. Xilinx. Ugly gap, 91.74, way down here, no pattern. Alex said somebody got hurt in Xilinx. remember anybody speculating on earnings in the green trading room. I surely wouldn't have endorsed it on that pattern. Mixie, there's no pattern. Could be a put spread though. eBay, it was actually a bullish bottoming pattern. Multi-month trading range, the 20 and 50 flattening out, but now it's getting whacked under 35. No pattern, but that's a bearish gap. 96 bucks, no pattern, deleting you. Mercy had a nice breakout, gapping down a little bit. Let's see if it can recover. Array 416, it's been strong, but no pattern. WRB, I can't tell what you're doing. SC, nice gap, 25.50, but way the heck up here, gap and resistance. I'd be selling if I were long. Sky, 35.50, gapping down, no pattern. We'll come back to them. Starbucks, up a little bit, 40 cents, but no pattern. Sander, no pattern. SMG, 112. We'll come back to you. It's gap and resistance. Slab, 112. Nasty gap. That could be a bear call credit spread candidate. Trade's weird. Look at all these tails going up, down, up, down. PGR, bullish gap breakout. I know old Debbie loves trading insurance companies, but that gap's too big. OSK, 89 bucks. Well, actually, it says 89 here. Well, there's not good volume. I see a print down here at 87 and a print at 89. We'll come back to you. NYCB, 1190. It's a junk bottoming pattern. NSC, railroad. Wow, that's a bullish gap to all-time highs. And that's a bullish pre-market chart too. Wow. LFUS, got no interest. Yeah, we bought Dish yesterday. Why? What's it doing? We bought the breakout. I don't see where it's gapping. MA we looked at, MKTX, garbage, Hess. It's climactic, but no reversal. There's our GE. Gulf Delta. It's slopping around, doing nothing. DT, bullish gap, 31.41 to all-time highs, but it's a big gap. Let's watch the pullback. Dow, 49 bucks, gapping in a downtrend. No interest. CLDT, big old gap, 51 bucks, way up here. Gap's too big. Boeing, we talked about. TXT, 47 bucks. Not, there's a ton of resistance. Nah, there's a ton of resistance to the left, but if you can get a put spread, it'd be okay. TRO, 133. It's a bullish gap. We'll come back to you. T, no pattern. SWK, 159, bearish gap, way under here. No pattern. We'll come back to you. SC, we looked at. Rawlings, it's been strong, flat here. I don't know, could be maybe a day trade. RES 479. I don't know. That's not tier one. PGR, another insurance company. NASDAQ 111.50. It's bullish. That's worth watching. We're in the ice, baby. MPLX 24.50. That might give you a day trade long. MPC 54.80. You're swimming upstream. For these, I like them to be climactic on support. And there's no support there on the weekly. KNX 38 bucks. That's in a big fat trading range, but it's gapping near, I don't know, I got no interest. IBZ, markets are holding though, pre-market, they're holding well. No pattern here, you're gone. IR, no pattern. Wow, we had so many earnings. Hey, this was a nice reversal buy setup. That, it's a deep retracement, but it came to the 50, and this is what I call a potent reversal. So that's not a gapping trade. It's just a beautiful pattern with a potent reversal. Let's keep an eye on that. EAT, gap and support, no product, no thing. Looks like 77.50, gap on the top of the range. EXTR, it's getting whacked. This thing's getting whacked. A nasty gap, maybe 30-minute low. Wow, I've gone through these really fast. There's a bearish gap, ANTM. There you go, bearish gap here. I know the 200's there, but if it can't bounce, that's a 30-minute low candidate under the pre-market low. ADP, no pattern. And now we're back to Apple. It looks higher. Gap in all-time highs with a bullish pre-market. That's going to give the Qs some oomph. Well, Qs actually aren't moving, but Apple looks higher. Dish, IIPR, yeah. All right, our opens. Spiders. Our put spread for today is now 3 cents. So now let's move the stop here. 326.78. Ice out. I'm not sure where you're out. I tighten our stop here. 98, but it still looks great.